Welcome back, fellow enthusiasts. It's time to dive into the exhilarating world of competitive testing. We witnessed an exciting day of testing with some teams soaring to new heights, while others stumbled on the first hurdle. In today's video, we will take a closer look at the winners and losers of the day, analyzing their strengths and weaknesses, triumphs, and pitfalls. So grab your popcorn, sit back, and let's get into it. 7. Williams. Now let's talk about Williams' team. They had an impressive day of testing with some solid laps and an overall improvement from last year's performance. The team looked optimistic, and if they can close the gap with the midfield, it could be a game changer for them. Alex's team acknowledged that they still had work to do, but everyone was positive about Williams' team. They've come far from their bottom of the standings performance last year and deserve a spot on the winners list. They were reliable and completed a good number of laps. However, their pace reveal may have been premature, and they relied on a softer tire runs to climb up the leaderboard. When other teams started to show their deathly speeds on day 3, it did expose some of Williams' team's weaknesses. But regardless, they performed exceptionally well, and there isn't much to say about them except that they are winners on the list. 6. AlphaTauri. So now, let's talk about AlphaTauri's performance during the testing. It's weird, as they were anonymous for most of the testing. They had a positive start on the first day, but the team had a heavy workload on the second day of the test. They completed all of the programs they wanted to, but in car development, they didn't know where they stood. Yuki and Nick had positive lap times, but they were inconsistent. Sometimes they ended up in top 5, and sometimes at the bottom of the list. It's uncertain whether to call them a winner or a loser, as they didn't do anything newsworthy and were overshadowed by the team-selling rumors that hit the media. Despite that, they do deserve a spot in the winners list because they were pretty bad last year, and the fact that they managed to get plenty of laps under them and a little bit of late pace from the Sonata at the end is commendable. However, all their testing will pale compared to the news, and how they will handle the rumors remains yet to be seen. 5. Haas. Now let's move on to Haas, who deserves a spot on the winners list. During testing, they didn't seem to have any struggles or issues, and the team also had a relaxed atmosphere in the garage. The whole team was in a positive mood and in the mix of teams fighting for 4th place. However, there is some worry about Haas because they tend to start the season well, but struggle with a development race as time passes. In the past, they have shown up with great cars at the start of the year, but faded later as the year passed. Nevertheless, based on their performance during the test, they do deserve a spot on the winners list. Their pace towards the end of the testing was good, and if they continue to put in consistent laps, they could probably secure a spot in the midfield at the start of the year. It's also important to note that there were quite a few teams last year that started strong, but eventually faded as the year progressed. So, seeing what happens with Haas as the year progresses. 4. Aston Martin. The Aston Martin team has been the talk of the town after their impressive performance during the 3-day testing period. They managed to make the most gains and were the quickest team on the track, capturing the attention of drivers and teams alike. Their flawless performance during the remaining 3 days after the minor issue with electronics on day 1 has put them in the spotlight as one of the most promising teams for the upcoming season. The midfield teams are keeping an eye on Aston Martin as they have shown incredible progress and promise in the off-season. Despite the minor electronics failure on the first day of testing, the whole team remained well organized and rock solid, which speaks to their potential to become a major force in the upcoming season. Fernando Alonso, a well-respected driver in the industry, pushed the limits of the car and showcased the team's capabilities with a solid lap time. This performance, along with their comparable rubber, has secured their place as a top contender for the 4th position this season, up from their 7th place finish last year. The hype surrounding Aston Martin has been well deserved, as they have truly put in the effort and hard work necessary to improve their performance. Their impressive performance during the testing period has earned them a spot as the winners of the test, with many fans and industry experts eagerly awaiting their performance in the upcoming season. It will be exciting to see how they will fare against the competition and whether they will live up to their promising performance during the testing period. 3. Alfa Romeo. So, let's spice up the review for Alfa Romeo. During the test, they seem to be struggling to improve from last year's performance. Although they managed to complete a good number of laps, it didn't seem like they made significant progress. It's like they were stuck in a rut and just trying to maintain their position in the midfield. Joe Guerra had a moment of glory on day 2 where he was the fastest man, but it was on the softest tire available, which didn't get them much of a competitive edge overall. The team experienced several failures, with the power unit dying at the end of the day 2 and the car dying in the middle of day 3. It was like they were hit with a double whammy, making it difficult for them to achieve the desired results. They certainly didn't deserve a spot in the winners list due to their lack of progress and reliability issues. However, the pace they showed on the track was quite promising. Alfa Romeo's performance during the test can serve as an example of teams that started strong but slowly faded as the season progressed. They have to work hard to ensure that they don't fall below the midfield section, as the competition in Formula 1 is fierce. It's time for the team to buckle down and address the issues that held them back during the test, so they can come out stronger and more competitive in the upcoming races. 2. McLaren. Next on the list is McLaren. We sadly have to call them losers, as they didn't show any interest in improving this year. In this season, we can't seem to see them fighting for any place, either 4th or 7th at the moment. Now, they were probably the biggest losers in the test. They had a lot of brake cooling problems, and also they had to spend a lot of time in the garage as they had to deconstruct the brake ducts during day 3. They didn't actually have much of the runtime on the track. Lando Norris was in the back and was looking terrible. Most of the time during the test, he had to jump over some barricade to kill some time, which was not really great. Zach Brown was actually really down on the team from the start. They missed many targets, and it was going to be a down year for them. And it is a clear indication that they are not where they actually want to be. 1. Alpine. Now, let's take a look at how Alpine performed during the test. Initially, they were quite quiet in terms. Everyone at the garage, the team, all looked really happy with the car. And there was great optimism among them as well, but the optimism wasn't much seen on the track. As per the other teams, they think that they are the best, but it looks like everyone is the best of the rest this year except for the team that set it. But they do deserve a spot in the winner, and there are some rumors that they will be getting an upgrade package during the actual time of the race, which is in Bahrain. Now, it feels like they were actually testing out how well they can do in these 3 days so they can grab a look at where they are and a proper baseline of the things. Now, looking at their race pace, it looked really solid, and they do have the potential to be in the number 4th team along with the Aston Martin team and the Alpine. Now, if they actually set it as their main goal, they could actually cut to the top 3 or even higher, and that would really make up a great season for all of them. And they do look like they will be cruising along just fine at the moment. Well, these were some of the winners and losers of the test. I hope you enjoyed the video. So what do you think may make it up to the 4th list? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and drop a like if you've watched the test series.